Hey everybody, it's Ian the Off Kilter Crafter. I hope you're having a great day today. It is an exciting day because I have the first clue from Carrie. That is the Cotton Cuts Puzzle Mystery Quilt for 2021, the Fall Puzzle Mystery Quilt Olympia. And like I said, I have Team Carrie. I'm going to be doing the small quilt, so if you're doing the small quilt, you can follow along with my videos, and that'll help you put these clues together. Even if you're not doing the colorway Carrie, as long as you're doing the small quilt, you can follow my directions because I will have, not my directions, but my tutorials, because it will be the same process just in your colorway. So first thing I have here, of course, is my fabric guide. And this year, the Cotton Cuts team has buffed it up a little bit with different tips and tricks that are important for the Puzzle Mystery Quilt. Keep your fabric swatch card. That's this right here on the back. It's upside down on mine, but this is it right here. You want to make sure to hold on to this because each time, each month, you'll need to refer back to it so that way you can keep it in. Ooh, here's a really good idea, is to grab a cell phone and take a picture of the swatch card just in case you need it in a pinch. So if you lose this card by mistake and need a way to, can I flip this around enough times? If you need a way to remember the colors, take a picture with this with your phone, and that way you'll have it on your phone, and as long as you don't delete it, you're good to go. The next tip is the printed grays on the shapes on the instructions they don't correlate to fabric colors. So the lightest gray in the instruction may or may not be your lightest fabric. So don't pay attention to that so much. Pay attention to what fabric you're using. So because the Puzzle Mystery Quilt is not your typical block of the month program, sometimes your clues will not make a block shape, but sometimes they might. So you never know exactly what shape these clues are going to come out to. Just as long as you put it together like the instructions say, that's the most important part. This one is super important, and I highly recommend make sure to label your clues each month. It'll make the final assembly so much easier. Trust me guys, it makes it incredibly easy. And in fact, I bought these little post-it note strips. These are post-it note like flags, and I can just write my clue number on here so I know exactly which one it is, and then I'll pin it onto my clue. I highly recommend doing that as it will really help out. Always make sure to follow the pressing instructions. It might not make a lot of sense in a given month, but it'll make it much easier when you're putting the whole quilt together. I try my absolute best to follow them, but sometimes something goes weird somewhere and I end up with it being a little off. That's not a deal breaker, guys. It's okay if it happens, but do your best to make sure and follow it as best as possible. Clue 10 may include longer strips to make your borders for your quilt. They always cut them about 2 inches longer than what the pattern calls for. This provides a little extra wiggle room when attaching them, so we always suggest to sew them on before trimming them. That is such a good advice. Make sure to add them on before you cut them and trim them down. So just sew them on, and then after the quilt has been completed or after Clue 10 is finished, then you can trim them once it's all put together. They also have fabric for extra borders, backing, and extra binding. You can fill out a form on the Cotton Cuts website to be the first in the know. So that's www.cottoncuts.com/PMQ-fabric. And that will get you the spot that you need to fill out to let them know that you're interested in extra fabric. And don't forget to mark your calendars for the 2022 Spring Puzzle Mystery Quilt. It opens up on December 3rd with the first clues shipping on February 4th. Wow, that seems so far away, but yet so close at the same time. Over here on the right side, if something is not quite right, here's the way to contact Cotton Cuts and let them know. They're happy to help you out. They're great. Their customer service is amazing, so make sure to check that out. We also have all the listed dates for shipping. So these are all the Olympia Puzzle Mystery Quilt ship dates. So you might want to pop those into your calendar so that way you know when your next clue is coming your way. They also have a secret Facebook group for mystery quilters, and you can find that link right here. And lastly, if there are any general questions, you can always email them at help@cottoncuts.com. And on the back here, we have the color chart for your colorway. So I have, of course, Carrie, yours will have your color on it, your colorway on it, and that's from fabric A all the way through your binding. And it's great to know that this time we have more colors than normal. We normally just have 6 colors, but now we have 8. First up inside of our packet, we have the Sew for the Gold. I have not seen one of these in the puzzle mystery quilts before, so let's check this out and see what it is. It says Sew for the Gold. It's obviously Olympic themed. Kick off the Olympia puzzle mystery quilt. We wanted to give you a special Sew for the Gold challenge. Take the Olympic ring colored pieces we included in your packet and create your own fabulous interpretation of the iconic Olympic symbol, then post it with the hashtag Sew for the Gold. We will award a gold, silver, and bronze medalist. Post your creation by August 31st and we'll announce the medalist on September 3rd. On your mark, get set, sew. So this is a fun little challenge. You don't have to do this, but if you want to, there are the Olympic ring colors in fabric swatches, and you can interpret this any way you want. You can create your own Olympic ring creation or your interpretation of the rings. Of course, you can add your own fabric to make your creation. So yeah, this is a fun little challenge, and I'll have to brainstorm on what I want to do for my Olympic ring interpretation. So don't forget to post that up by August 31st. So you have a little bit of time, but not too much time. Make sure to make that happen by August 31st, and then look for the results on September 3rd. All right, I've got more things here. I have my instructions for my small puzzle mystery quilt, and then of course I have clue number 1 packet, which this time has some goodies, so let's go check it out. Looks like we got some Cotton Cuts pins included in our packet this time, which is awesome. You can never have too many pins. I always seem to lose mine, so this is perfect. I'll definitely be using these. And here we have the fabric, so let's go ahead and check out what kind of fabric we have included in this packet. We have 16, and these are all the same. We have 16 triangles of fabric. I'm looking at the wrong place here. Fabric F. We have 8 squares of fabric C. We also have 4 squares of fabric A. We have 8 large triangles of fabric A. And then there are 2 longer rectangles of fabric D. All right, so these are all the pieces that we have for clue number 1. I'm gonna go ahead and take these and put these on the table behind me, and we'll get started with step number 1. All right, here we go. We're going to start off with section 1A. I have my pieces. I did want to mention, if you are new to the Cotton Cuts Puzzle Mystery Quilts, some of the things that I use while I'm making my pieces and my clues, of course I use my sewing machine, but I do have a wool pressing mat. This is really great for pressing out your clues because this one's nice and small, so it fits right on my tabletop. I also use the Cricut Easy Press Mini, and I love this one because the base here it glides over the material really easily. It has a great grip on it, so I can really grip it well while I am ironing out my fabric, and I just really like it a lot. So if you are in the market for a mini iron, I would highly suggest this one because it's great for it. But any iron will do just fine. Just make sure you have an iron to press with and something to press on. And of course, if you have any questions, you can always leave them down in the comments below. I enjoy being able to answer your questions, or you can contact Cotton Cuts and they'll be able to help you out as well. All right, so we're going to start off with section 1A. Like I said, you'll be making 4 of the following section. 2 of these will be section A, and the remaining 2 will be used to make section 1C. The following instructions tell you how to make all 4 sections at the same time. All right, for step number 1, it says to join a triangle F to one side of the triangle A, press towards F, then join another triangle of F to the other side of A, and press towards A. We're gonna make 4 of these, so it doesn't really matter if you do the left side or the right side first. As long as you do one side, press it out, and then do the other side and press it. That's all that matters. We're going to do this 4 times, so let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to be using white thread for mine, I think. This one, my colorway has a lot of different colors in it, but it also has black and white. I mainly sew with either black or white, and since I do have the white pieces in there, I feel like it's better to be safe with the white thread. So today I'm going to be using white thread to sew. All right, when you're all done, it should look like this. Remember, now we're going to press this towards our F fabric, and I like to do these kind of like half square triangles, so I'm going to rotate it like this. And when I do half square triangles, I gently open it up a little bit, and then I'll take my iron and go up on this side of it and then straight over, and that kind of helps to kind of open it up, and then hopefully it doesn't warp as much either. So we now have 4 pieces that should look like this. We need to do the other side the exact same way. All right, when you're done, you have this. I mean, you could have done it the other way. It's still gonna be the same either way. And again, I'm gonna do it up and then over to open up my half square triangles, kind of in that same form and fashion, but now we have 4 clues that look like this. Let's move on to our next step. All right, moving on to step number 2, it says to join a square of C to the left of step 1, and then we're gonna press it towards C. We're gonna do that 4 times. So I'm gonna take all 4 of my step number 1 and attach a square of C just like this. So I'm gonna go ahead and flop it over like that, and I'm gonna sew right here, and we're gonna do that 4 times. All right, I have done all 4 sewing jobs here, and now I'm going to press towards my C fabric, just like that. And there we go, we have all 4 done, just like that. They're so pretty looking already, I love it. All right, so whenever we finish these, they should measure 9.5 by 3.5. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I don't typically measure mine. I just kind of let them be. If I see something really off, then I'll take a closer look at it, but these are close enough, and so I'm going to leave them just as they are. And we're going to label 2 of these as section A, 1A. So I'm going to set 2 of these aside, and I'm going to label them as section or clue 1A. And then we're going to set aside the remaining 2 for section 1C. So label these, set them off to the side, and then these we're going to use on section 1C, so I'm going to set them aside for now. All right, here we go with our section 1B. You'll be making 4 of the following section. 2 of these will be section 1B. The remaining 2 will be used to make section 1C. The following instructions tell you how to make all 4 sections at the same time. We're going to do the same thing that we did for section 1A. We're going to join a triangle of F to a large triangle of A, press towards F, then join another triangle of F to the other side of A and press towards F, and we're going to make 4 of these. So let's do this again. We should be really familiar with that, so let's do it. All right, last one here, again up and then over, and pressing that out just like this, making sure everything's nice and flat as much as possible. So now we have 4 that look exactly like this. Now we're going to move on to step 2, and it says to join a square of C to the right of step number 1. So we're going to be doing the exact same thing that we did in step 1, except on the left side. We're now going to be doing it over here on the right side, just like this. And this will go on just like this, and we're doing this 4 times again. So just sew right there, just like that. All right, there we go. We have all of our clues together for step 2. It says to label 2 of these as section 1B. So this is going to be section or clue 1B, and we're going to set those off to the side. I'm going to set those right over there for now. They're right next to my clue 1As. And then these 2, we're going to set these 2 aside for section 1C. So I have some others that we did from the first one. I have those set off to the side, so I'm going to place those over there. And now let's move on to section 1C. All right, moving on to section 1C, you'll be making 2 of this section 1C, starting with the section set aside in step 2 of section 1A and 1B. The following instructions tell you how to make both sections at the same time. So we're starting off with step number 1. It says to join a square of A to the right side of each section from step 2 of section 1A. So here I have section 1A. Remember that our C fabric is over here on the left side. And what we're going to do is we're going to attach a square of our, which one was this? A fabric. I got lost for a second. We're going to attach a square of our fabric A onto the right side, just like this. And remember, we're doing this twice. So I have my fabric A. I'm going to sew it over here on the right side, and we're going to do this 2 times. All right, I've done that twice. I'm now pressing my A fabric, or towards the A fabric, I should say. I'm pressing towards my A fabric, just like that. And there we go, we have 2 that look like this. It should measure 12.5 by 3.5 inches. Looks like we set this off to the side for a moment and bring in our 2 from section 1B. All right, for our second step, we're going to go ahead and put a square of fabric A over here on the left side. So join a square of A to the left of each section from step 2 of section 1B. We're going to press towards A, and again, we make 2 of these. So exactly the same thing that we just did, just on the opposite side. All right, I have done that. I am pressing towards my A fabric, just like this. And we now have 2 clues that look exactly like this. Let's move on to step number 3. All right, moving on to step number 3, it says to sew step 1 to the top of a rectangle D, press towards D, and then join step 2 to the bottom of D and press towards D. And we're going to do this 2 times. So it should look something like this. Make sure that your C fabric, C fabric, in my case it's the green one. Make sure that the C fabric is on the same side and that the A fabric is on the same side. I know it's not like the picture, but I can rotate it really quickly so that way it matches up with the picture. So you should have C fabric, A fabric, D fabric in between. All right, there we go. I have completed both of these. I'm pressing towards my D fabric in the middle here. So we should have 2 that look exactly the same, just like this. This one's not going to fit on camera very well, but we have 2 that look exactly like this, and they should measure 12.5 by 8.5 inches, and we label these 1C. So remember, we have clue 1A, which should be this one if I remember correctly. Yes, this is 1A. Then we have 1B, section 1A, section 1B, and then section 1C for this one down here. And we're done. We have made step, or I'm getting lost at this point. We have completed clue number 1 with section 1A, section 1B, and section 1C. Perfect. All right, I'm going to save these. Don't forget to keep your color guide. I'm going to keep the instructions. I always keep my instructions until the very end, so that way if there's a problem, I can always go back and refer to my instructions. But I'm going to go ahead and label these and put them into my container, so that way they'll be ready for month number 10. Don't forget, as you're putting your quilt together, a finished quilt is always better than a perfect quilt. I definitely have some wobbly goodness going on. They're not exactly perfect, but that's okay. I always tend to kind of maneuver it just right as we get towards clue number 10. So there we go. And if you'd like more instructions on how to put these together, don't forget to subscribe so that way you can see all 10 clues come together. Thanks for watching today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I'm making it my goal in 2021 to hit 100,000 subscribers, but I need your help to make that happen. Take a moment and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then don't forget to check out the other great videos that I have here on my channel. Also, share this video with your friends and tell them to come check out the Off Kilter Crafter.